What technologies will make the greatest impact over the next 18 to 24 months? Welcome to Tech Talks, where we will find out as we take a deep dive into the Deloitte Tech Trends report of 2025. And our aim is to make this understandable for everyone, not only the tech geeks. I'm joined by Maria from our Copenhagen office, and she is the tech lead in Denmark. And Maria, this is the 16th annual Tech Trends report from Deloitte. What makes this report stand out from the rest?
Thank you, Øystein, and thank you so much for having me in the studio today. I think what I notice specifically about our 2025 report is the fact that AI is everywhere. Everywhere in the 6 trends that we point out, or the 6 macro forces as we call them, AI is embedded everywhere. It's an underlying current in all of the big shifts that we are seeing. So it's the superpower of all of the 6 macro forces. So this is the first takeaway that I take from the report.
Yeah, but Maria, AI is a given. I think that's on everybody's lips at the moment. But for years, we've been hearing about extended reality, virtual reality, digital twins. Why is this suddenly more mature now?
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting perspective, actually. And some of you might also remember that just as the trends you were mentioning, we've been speaking about them for at least 10 years. A few years back, everybody was also talking about the metaverse. Do you remember? We're going to live in a 3D version of the real world. And having teenagers at home that are very into computer gaming, I think that some generations have already submerged themselves in some types of metaverses. But really what we are zooming in on here with the notion of spatial computing is exploring how will we create value in businesses and in our day-to-day lives with using these amazing digital representations of real life spaces. How will we use them in combination with AI? And I think that we see many different professions having benefited from these technologies already. What is new is that imagine that a family has commissioned a new house by an architect. So instead of going to the architect's office to see the 3D plan of their new house, they might be going to the building site, and there they might be putting on a set of a VR headset, and then they will be introduced to being able to walk into their new house in a virtual space. So simply project it there on the spot. What would your new house look like? What would it feel like? But say the conversation between the couple that are commissioning the new house and the architects going on, and then somebody asks, do you think potentially we could increase the size of this bedroom a little bit and maybe move that window? And then the architect speaks back to his 3D model. He asks the 3D model to do these corrections, and instantaneously we will see a simulation that will change the outlay, and you will be able to see right away these suggested changes. This is about real-time simulations, for example. This is the power that AI will bring to these technologies that we already are familiar with.
This is so good because my mind is already spinning. I can imagine so many use cases of this, and thank you for making it sort of really clear for me what this technology can help us with. But I need your help now, Maria, because I'm struggling more with the trend around quantum computing. I'm having issues getting my head around it, and especially what is quantum computing and what are the use cases of it?
Yeah, and I think you and me both, Øystein, and I think most other people, and I think there is a famous quote, right, that say that if you understood quantum computing, you for sure you didn't. So I think we're in a good space there. But I think that what we are hearing, and some of the concerns at least also I have been confronted with from some of my clients, is the concern that quantum computing and this immense compute power that will be released when we reach to quantum computing will pose a threat to some of the are some of the Chinese walls that we have built protecting our foundation of the way we've built society. Well, for example, encryption. Encryption is a key component to our cybersecurity landscape today. We encrypt to protect, and a lot of our encryption models will be threatened by quantum computing, because by quantum computing you probably will be able to break some of the current encryptions that we are relying on. And I think this is a threat that has been posed to me already a few years ago. People were starting to be concerned about this theoretical risk. We are seeing also new modes of encryption benefiting from quantum computing. So we will see new models of working out new encryption forms, also harvesting the power of quantum. And it is an arms race, especially it's nothing new. We know in the cybersecurity field, we know it's an arms race against the bad guys. We know all the bad guys also have all the new shiny stuff. So it is really an arms race. But I think the good story here is that there is a lot of investment in working out how do we enforce our cryptography also with the potential of quantum computing.
Thank you so much. And believe it or not, it actually became clearer for me what it is now. But one thing is going back to sort of AI being the overarching trend. And I had a conversation with some CIOs in large Nordic firms not long ago. And they said the initiatives that sort of start using AI within the organization, it often comes from the employees that run ahead with this, and the organization is not being ready, and suddenly the CIOs need to find a way to contain the use of AI and also making it compliant. Is that something you also recognize when working with CIOs?
Completely, Øystein. This is a big part of the conversation I'm having, both with public sector and larger private enterprise clients, also here in Denmark. Absolutely. Everybody is struggling to get their hands around this. And I think it's a very positive trend that employees, and especially our young talent, is very eager to get to these tools and resources to better themselves, to provide more quality and to be better at their work. There are ways around this, and I think that I usually advise our clients to be smart about setting up boundaries for how to use these tools. Not allowing these tools are not the way forward. I mean, they have to find a way where they can, so to speak, sandbox these tools within the organization. And there are recognized and quite standard frameworks that we could help them set up a very safe and secure by design and compliant by design playground for using these tools internally in an organization that would secure by so to speak, hard coding compliance and data protection setups inside the organization to make sure that no sensitive data will leave your organization, no models will be trained on your business IP. All of these worries from the CIO and the CEO actually also, right? And even the head of the chairman of the board sometimes worries about this. We are able today with a set of quite standard platforms to help our clients set up something that is secure by design that will allow them to benefit from these new tools and capabilities. Yeah.
Maria, let's bring this towards the end, and I want to ask you, what should Nordic businesses do now? Obviously, read the report, but what actions should they take?
No, I think it's important to keep yourself updated, right? But I think the most important thing with this, such as any other discussion about what are the tech trends shaping our businesses is really to start in your own business, asking what is the wicked business problem that I need help with? Like, what is it that I would love for tech to help me solve in my business? Because we have to remember that even though we can sit here and be very inspired by all of these new shiny things and these abstract ideas, we need to bring it close to what is it that we want to solve for in your specific business. What are you striving for? What is your strategic ambition? Or what is your worst problem in efficiency or cost or a lack of labor? Or where is it that you hurt the most? So how can any type of technology bring business value for your specific business? And let's have a conversation about then, starting with the business problem, what type of tool would be relevant for you? Let's not start in the tools, let's start in the business problems.
Thanks for a great conversation, Maria, and thank you so much for joining me on Tech Talks.